Good night, room. Good night, moon. Good night, cow jumping over the moon. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? I figured I would do another Call of Duty commentary since I had a couple of recorded. Been playing over the past few days and getting a few decent games. I'm surprised because all the skill-based matchmaking and that. But I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, a lot of games with the FAL because the FAL is great. So if you're expecting some variety and whatnot, not going to get it here. I mean, I do actually use a lot of different guns, but it just happens that the FAL is the one that I get the good games with. Since I guess, like I said, good gun, going to get the good games. Not going to get good games with a Saiga 12 or anything like that, or not without a lot of trying or a lot of just getting put with terrible people. So yeah. So speaking of terrible people and that, skill-based matchmaking is what I want to talk about today because I think I mentioned it in the other video, but I didn't go into depth about it because I don't know what the hell I was thinking. But yeah, skill-based matchmaking, like, does it say it in the game anywhere, like, that there's actually skill-based matchmaking in the public games? Because if it does, like, I must have just completely glossed over it and just like, well, yeah, whatever, like, skip that. Because I know in the league play that's supposed to have it. I haven't played it, but I imagine it's sort of like, like how Halo 3 had it. If anyone played that game, I hope people did. I'll just stop myself here and just say quad, and then wait for it. I'm going to mess up this grenade terribly, but I'm going to make up for it with the triple spray. Could have been a quad or another quad or something, but this guy to run off and ruin it like a dick. But anyway, yeah, Halo 3, so if you haven't played that game and you're playing this game, then you are subhuman scum. But yeah, in that game, you played well. You start off level 1 and you play well, and you get you leveled up, and it was kind of like COD where you sort of, the first few levels were kind of easy and you went up, but then it was all based on how well you played. It wasn't that like COD where it's just you playing the game, you finishing the game, got you leveled up. It's like, no, you had to play well to get the ranks. When you got to like level 20 or something, it starts getting a bit more difficult. You get to 30, you have to win depending on what game type you played and that, but you get to like level 30 and it starts getting quite tricky to level up. Like you need to be playing like really well, and then obviously then you get to level 50, you've got to be like like the top players in the game. I mean, there was sort of like easier ways to get it, but you still had to be quite good at the game to get to them them sort of levels. So it was good. I think I heard that like the older Battlefield games had a similar sort of thing where it went on like your score per minute, which is another good way to do it. Like if your score per minute is high, then you normally you're getting lots of kills quickly, or you're doing like other stuff. I mean, it's a bit sort of with the games like Kill Confirmed where you can just run around picking up like other people's dog tags. It gets a bit sort of like, is he really that good? But it's still like you've got to be like contributing and whatnot. But anyway, so like skill-based matchmaking, it just seems that the game is just as random as any other COD game. I mean, this match here was the first of 2 that we played on this map, because like that's normally what happens when you have a good map. People vote for it again. And this one I go something like, I think it works out. It's like 30 and 4, something at the end. It's like close to that. And and this bit here, I would like notice it when I watched it back. This guy spawns right next to me. Like if you watch that back, which is just, I'm shaking my head and putting my hands in the air. Like what? I mean, I'm shooting 2 people on his team, and he spawns right next to me. I mean, it's a pretty small map, but there's a lot of spawn points on this map where he could go. And, put him right next to me. Luckily, I think he wasn't playing because, he clearly had the drop on me. You don't expect someone. I mean, people spawn behind you, but I mean literally right behind you, like a foot away. I mean, I think he was probably closer than a foot away from you. So, that's just crazy. But I've completely lost topic here. Oh yeah, so playing the game, and it was completely random. Like the first game I played really well, and the second game I used the same setup. We're playing against a majority of the same people. I'm guessing a few of them quit or like switch teams or whatever. But same setup, same map, same game type and everything, kill streaks, whatever. And yeah, like really like contrasting parallel scores, like, good game, bad game, like what is that about? It's just like the game is just completely random. Like there's no sort of consistency in the games. I mean, if you're a good player, you'll do well, but you're not going to get like really good games every single game. I mean, you can see that with even like really good players like like XCal does the live sessions, and he'll do well every game, but like there'll be definitely like inconsistencies and big margins between games. So it's not just like every game, oh, I'm going to do well or I'm going to do bad or whatever. Because as you can see, sometimes anyone can be king for a day, as they say in this game. Like terrible players will do well now and again. It's sort of just like, I mean, they sort of say like in football, it's say, or soccer, sorry. Like, if you, whip in enough corners or crosses or whatever, like, eventually one of them's going to go in. It's like that sort of thing. It's just like, the odds are eventually, going to go in your favour sort of thing. So that is pretty much what COD is. Like, this skill-based matchmaking thing, it just seems like a cop-out for... Not like the sort of... I don't know, it just seems like, I'll just say YouTubers, because obviously like, they're the ones with the voice and all that stuff. Like they're just like, oh, skill-based matchmaking, I can't, this game's terrible, I can't get the scores that I want. And it's like, well, no, you're just using that as an excuse. I mean, I will say that like the lag compensation, the host migration and whatnot is quite a big factor. I mean, it really does like hamper you sometimes, especially depending on what weapon you're using. I mean, if you're using something like the FAL or a shotgun or something like that on like a terrible host, it just does not work. Like you'll run up to a guy, shoot him, and then on the kill screen, kill cam, he'll have just dropped you instantly, and you'll be like looking in the direction of something. And with the host migration as well, I remember XCal actually mentioned this on I think it was like a Black Ops 1 video. It's like, why does it give hosts to people that quit a lot? Like you'll see that like they'll have like a 0.5 win-loss because not because they're bad and they're losing, but it's just because they'll dashboard and quit all the time. And it should have some sort of like preference to like honest players, quote unquote, good players, that don't quit out and stuff like that all the time. It just seems like, I mean, I'm not like a programmer, but it seems like a fairly like simple like thought process. I'm sure they can do it because they can track stats and that, and they can they can ban you for like boosting and glitching and stuff. So I'm sure they could work out a way, oh, this guy always dashboards, so don't give him host. But then again, they can't even get the fact that people have terrible connections and yet they give them host. I mean, I don't understand that. But I think that's all I've got to say for this one. I'm sure there's more bad things I can find about the game. So yeah, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.